Welcome to the Courtroom Chronicles. This channel is dedicated to educational content based on real-life cases and true events. This content shared here is drawn directly from the actual case file, and no names, places, or items have been changed. However, the content has been carefully summarized and presented for educational purposes in a comprehension format to inform, enlighten, and spark meaningful discussions. Whether you're here to learn, reflect, or simply understand the real-world scenarios better, you're in the right place. We believe in the power of truthful storytelling to educate and inspire. Disclaimer: while all stories are based on real cases, they are presented in a condensed and structured format for clarity and learning. Viewer discretion is advised where necessary. This case is cited from the Nigerian High Court online file, which is public record. This is a case between Taleveras Petroleum Trading DMCC and Honorees, Mr. Sibusiso Sidney Gamed in Honor Court, High Court of the Federal Capital Territory Abuja, Presiding Judge, Honor Justice O.A. Musa. Judgment date 9th March 2021. Summary: this case revolves around Taleveras Petroleum Trading DMCC and Mr. Igho Sanomi, claimants, who filed an originating motion against Mr. Sibusiso Sidney Gamed and Mr. Radzani Godfrey Muladzi, respondents. The claimants argued that the South African court's findings, especially by Justice O.L. Rogers in case number 430518, severely damaged their business reputation. The second respondent, as a former director, breached his fiduciary duties by engaging in dealings with the first respondent, which led to these damaging conclusions. The South African proceedings denied both them and the first respondent fair hearing. They sought declarations, an apology, and compensation. The South African court's judgment was indeed critical of Taleveras, holding that they paid bribes and were involved in corrupt dealings. However, Taleveras and the respondents contended that the South African process was flawed, procedurally and substantively, arguing it was marred by racial bias, denial of fair hearing, and exclusion of key participants like Mr. Gamed. Justice Musa's court meticulously reviewed the global legal principles surrounding fair hearing, referencing authorities from jurisdictions like Canada, the US, UK, and Nigeria. The Nigerian court emphasized that fair hearing is a fundamental constitutional right, and any judgment secured without it cannot stand legal scrutiny. Who won the case and why? Winner: the defendants' respondents, Mr. Gamed and Mr. Muladzi. Why the claimants lost? The Nigerian court refused to grant most of the claimants' reliefs because doing so would have amounted to enforcing a foreign judgment, South African judgment, that was tainted by lack of fair hearing. The court lacked territorial jurisdiction to overturn the South African decision, but declared that the judgment could not be enforced in Nigeria due to its violation of natural justice and Section 36 of the Nigerian Constitution, right to fair hearing. Consequently, the claim for damages and apology was dismissed as spent, since the foundation of the claim, the foreign judgment, was rejected. Further legal analysis. How could this have been avoided? Proper legal representation and joinder. If Mr. Gamed had been joined as a party in the South African proceedings, he could have offered evidence to rebut the corruption allegations. His exclusion violated procedural fairness and ultimately undermined the credibility of the judgment. Due process before judicial review. The South African authorities acted on judicial review without prior criminal prosecution. In such cases involving allegations of bribery, prosecution and conviction should precede any judicial review or invalidation of transactions. International legal strategy. Taleveras should have promptly sought legal redress in South Africa or international arbitration, rather than relying solely on domestic Nigerian remedies, which are limited by jurisdictional boundaries. Fiduciary duty and internal controls. The internal oversight within Taleveras may have failed to detect or prevent potential reputational risks. Stronger corporate governance could have mitigated exposure to such international legal crises. Thanks so much for watching, fam. I really appreciate you spending your time with me. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, drop a comment below, and let me know what you think about the case. I love hearing your thoughts and feedback. And hey, if you felt a connection or learned something new, give this video a like and share it with someone who might enjoy it too. Until next time, stay safe, stay real, and I'll catch you in the next one.